Today we are going to talk about hair system and wigs. First, the difference between a hair system and a wig, how they can benefit someone who is looking to restore hair or camouflage hair loss, and how they can serve us well in a transition time after the hair transplantation until the transplanted hair grows in. So there's a difference between a hair system and a wig. Hair system would be partially restoring area that it's like a thin either plastic or a mesh that has hair weaving into it. So it's a partially hair restored that will cover just a certain area of the scalp. So it's called hair system. It could be a hair piece or hair system. A wig would be it would be a piece that covers hair entirely, and if it's applied to a man, it's called a cap. So hair system or hair piece, which is the same thing, can be applied to scalp either by bonding, which would be a glue, usually the area, let's start with the idea that someone has hair loss on the top and is wearing his hair system to blend with the existing hair. So the hair system would be glue either to the top, or it could have a tape and be taken every night, and the tape will be placed back on a head, or it could be attached. It's called like a weaved into existing hair. So there will be like a kind of thread type attachment of a hair piece to the hair. So there are three ways to attach hair system: a tape, which would be temporary, glue, which would stay for a month, and a weaving into the cable, weaving into existing hair, which also stays for a month. The benefits of wearing hair system is that someone can get hair right away, desired look right away, and also it is a smaller cost up front. The disadvantages of wearing hair system would be monthly maintenance, which means if the hair system is attached to the hair and let's say it is woven into the hair, hair will grow as normally will grow, and the hair system will become loose, and the person has to go back and reattach this hair system. The other thing, hair system is mostly are not made of a natural hair, so the hair color changes, and so there's a certain updating, which means either new hair system or coloring system or cutting hair to blend with the existing system that is required to be performed on a monthly basis. So on the long term, hair system can be more costly versus hair restoration. Hair restoration, the higher cost is up front, but it is a cost known, and once done, and kind of hair stays there forever, and it doesn't require monthly maintenance except just normal haircut. Hair systems came a long way. We're mostly talking about hair system for men. Some women also wear hair system. They came a long way. They can look very natural. They can be made with a natural hair. And as I said, the advantage is that you can have hair right away, but disadvantage is that in the long term, it's not your hair. You're always aware that someone may discover. You don't want anyone to touch your hair because you know you have a system. So advantages and disadvantages are something for you to know, but you have to decide which one works for you. Hair system can be very helpful, or hair wigs can be very helpful in a transitioning time after hair restoration. If someone wears a hair system prior to hair restoration and goes through the surgery, hair system can be worn back several days after the surgery, except that the attachment system has to be adjusted to healing process, which means instead of being glued directly to the scalp, there will be clips attached to the system, and then the system will be attached to the existing hair and taking off every night so the hair scalp can breathe and heal. And so hair system can be very helpful in a transition time until the transplanted hair grows in. There are certain ways we can talk about, such as thinning hair system to adjust the density, hair density. Usually hair systems are thicker to adjust the hair density that would be more natural and matching hair density accomplished with a hair transplantation. Hair system can be worn in patients who, for example, or experience post-operative thinning, and whether hair system or hair wig can be used temporarily to cover the post-operative thinning. And hair system and hair wigs are good supplement for hair restoration in case that is something that you would be considering, whether because you started with wearing hair system or a wig, or you went through extensive post-operative thinning and that is bothersome. But there are certain ways that hair systems or wigs can be helpful in hair restoration. I hope this segment was of help to you. If you have any more questions, you can always contact us, and until the next time. One more thing, Dr. Lam reminded me to talk about the fact that hair systems can be effective and help to restore hair in someone who has extensive baldness, and we cannot accomplish desired result with hair transplantation. Dr. Lam talked about the lid effect in his blog, which explains that sometimes there's a discrepancy between the hairline and a temporal peak in someone who is wearing hair system, which means, looking from the profile, normal recession will move the hairline from the side further back, and that usually matches with the extensive baldness on the back. So if the hair system is worn on the top, system as it is constructed will not come to the temples unless it is a full cap. So if someone is wearing hair system to cover the baldness on the top, usually that person will have extensive loss on the side, which will not be repaired with hair system. We can do hair transplantation at a temporal peak, which will frame the face in such a way that the hair system will create at the top line, could look very natural, but then we can reconstruct the temporal peak, and we're talking this portion of the head is a temporal peak. So if there's a hairline with a hair system and hair transplant complements temporal peak, person can accomplish a great result, frame the face, look youthful with restored hair that is created in a combination of a hairpiece and a hair transplant. So there is always something great that can be done in a combination of a hair piece or hair system and a hair transplant.